Alrighty, we are back in this thing. Episode 2. You are now tuned into the Voice of Me podcast, a spirit-led space to grow, release, and return to yourself. I'm Samar, and every episode is an invitation to Ashe, align, soften, and evolve. This podcast is powered by My Beauty, which is botanical beauty for inner peace and outer radiance. And now that you're here, you're officially a part of the plant mafia. Welcome to the family. Make sure that y'all like, comment, subscribe, share. If anything resonates, anything you would like to share, or anything that moves you, any stories you would like to tell, feel free to let me know. Alright, so let's get into the second episode. So this is the second episode. Let me make sure. Hold on. We good? Alright. Let's sit up a little bit. Alright, so we are in the second episode, and I really wanted to talk about how uncomfortable growth can really be. Like, a lot of people don't talk about it, and it's not talked about really at all. Like, growth can be really uncomfortable. You start to feel like you're not yourself. You start having an identity crisis, just because you tapping into the person that you're becoming. So when you're becoming a person, you have to literally embody how would that person move, how would that person talk, walk, think, do. You have to think about all of those things when you're becoming higher than, the person that you are right now. So I was on the mat the other day, and I was stretching, and I was just like, wow, like, me meditating, doing yoga, reading, everything that I needed to do in order to heal and feel one with myself, like, those things allowed me to tap back into who I really was and help me grow even more, because it was allowing my body to release the pressure and, not be in control so much, So I feel like that's why a lot of people run away from growth, because you don't feel in control. You might come up with a routine, like, okay, I want to start doing this more, I want to do that more, But, when you actually start doing it, it's like God opened up so many new doors and thoughts and thinking and actions and opportunities. And it's just like, wow, like, it literally happened for me doing that one thing. Like, me going plant-based and, transitioning to that, I will always say before, I don't think I could be vegan. Like, dang, you don't eat no meat. Like, the same thing people told to me, I used to be the one to say that. But I switched my mind, and I made up my mind to do differently, because when I wasn't being obedient, it's alright, y'all. So it's a whole story. I shared a little bit about it. If y'all go back a little bit on my page of, like, how I became plant-based. I told a story about how I got really sick and I felt like I was gonna die, right? So it's like, when you keep on disobeying and not listening to spirit, not listening to God, but you really need to do that thing, God is gonna make you do that thing by, bringing chaos in your life or whatever. Like, it's going to be an ultimatum that you give to yourself. Like, it's literally, I'm either going to do this or this is going to keep on happening to me. Because when you keep on resisting spirit, and spirit can tell you do this, and you're supposed to do that, and you just, you don't make the time for it. You don't want to do it. That it's something that you have to do, but you don't want to do it. God is going to show you should have done that. You're going to think when that happens, whatever God brings your way, it's going to make you say, oh, I should have done that. So let's just say, I told y'all, it wasn't a fully disobey, right? Because me transitioning to plant-based, I started switching out my soaps, my toothpaste, my deodorant, like my skincare items, right? Because I was trying to heal what the eye can see. But it was like, it was real inner work that needed to be done. And that came with doing the work that was hard. Like, literally changing my mind to, not be comfortable with what I was put on to growing up. Things that, family members might have introduced me to, or, anything that is, prominent in our community. Like, you go into the Little Debbie's aisle. Like, when I tell you I had every little Debbie's that there was, yeah, I had every little, like, I like all the cosmic brownies, donut sticks, all of that. My cabinet was always filled with that type of stuff. Cereal, all types of stuff that, contain high fructose corn syrup. I was addicted to sugar. And I didn't know how to balance that with, fruits and vegetables. It was just like, that wasn't in my mind. And, over time, that stuff breaks down your body. So where I was heading, pouring into others, you have to make sure that you're well enough within your space. And it doesn't matter if you're a service provider, a business owner, a mother, father, sister, cousin. At the end of the day, you always got to make sure you're pouring in yourself properly, right? So I didn't know, I was really harming my body with all of the things that I was doing. Since we're talking about growth today, real growth, the kind that's uncomfortable, inconvenient, but necessary, I wanted to share something that came straight from my own transformation. It's called Balance Through Plants, a mindful guide to plant-based living. This isn't just about food. It's about the moment you decide to stop ignoring the signs, the fatigue, the bloating, the breakouts, spiritual disconnect, and start choosing yourself even when it's hard. I created this guide after a health scare that made me reevaluate everything. Inside, I share how I transitioned my meals, my mindset, and my rituals. Not perfectly, but intentionally. It's full of grocery lists, soul practices, gentle detoxes, and reminders that you don't have to wait until you're broken to begin. It's only $17 for a limited time. The link is in the description, or you can go to my link tree, linktr.ee/MICOSMETICS. Make sure you get your copy and take that first step, because choosing growth is hard, but it's also the most beautiful decision you'll ever make. Until God showed me and told me, yeah, you can't do that no more. Like, where I want you to go, where you're going, that stuff has to be left behind. So when you pivoting and you want to level up and you want to get to the next level, it's things that you're going to have to leave behind. People, places, I don't know, pets, furniture. Sometimes it's like God just saying, like, let it all go. Like, you holding on to something when God has 10 times, 100 times better for you, but you so want to be in control of everything that it's not. You just feel like, oh, that's all I got right now, and I'ma just hold on to it, because you're just making up excuses. When the next level requires no excuses. The next level The next level requires no excuses. So what does that mean? Doing the things that's hard, doing the things that's hard, doing the things that's uncomfortable, doing the things you're not used to. Because when you start doing the things you're not used to that are positive, like, you know, grounding, going out in nature, you know, slowing down, reading, you know, like those, when I tell you those top 3 things allowed me to gain more clarity and, you know, allowed me to think. And I know a lot of people I forget exactly at this time, but I'm gonna try to explain it and y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Like, some people are internal thinkers, and then like, I think it's like something where as though, you know, when it's no noise, you can't really you can't think. Like, some people don't like quiet because their thoughts get too strong to where as though it's like they can't handle it. You know, it's a lot of messages that spirit is coming down and doing. Okay, I'm filming right now. So yeah, at the end of the day, you have to be willing to sacrifice things that no longer serve you in order to get to the next level, because as uncomfortable as it may seem in the moment, like, you know, before I went fully plant-based, you know, obviously it was a constant decision of, you know, not to eat this, not to eat that, you know, start being more intentional with the things that I do put in my body. And then, you know, over time of me choosing the right thing, it just became, you know, embedded in my subconscious, and it became easier and easier and easier with repetition of doing the things that at one time was so hard. So really, the thought of suffering is worse than the actual suffering, because when you tell yourself, oh, it might be hard, I don't know where to start, when you just keep on feeding yourself excuses, you talking yourself out of it. You putting doubt, fear, all of the things in your mind that is just like unnecessary. When if it's something that you really want to achieve and something that you really want to do, you got to be willing to put the work in for it. Nobody's going to do it for you. So you got to be real with yourself. And like I said, it is uncomfortable at first, possibly, you know, just as if, you know, the first time you ever doing a pull-up, like the first time you do a pull-up, it might be hard, but over time it just get easier and easier. So I just want to leave y'all with that. Growth may be uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, you got to sacrifice in order to go where you want to go, where you got to go, where God is sending you. So take time, be still, get clear. Peace.